In a previous discussion, we said that hormones come in two general chemical classes, amino acid-based hormones and steroid hormones. Here, we're going to take a look at the structure and functions of the amino acid-based hormones. As their name indicates, amino acid-based hormones are built using one or more amino acids. They can be derived from one single amino acid. A good example would be epinephrine and thyroxine. They can also be peptides, which are short chains of amino acids. Calcitonin, for example, is made of 32 amino acids hooked to each other in a chain. Our amino acid-based hormones can also be longer chains of amino acids that we call proteins. For example, prolactin is made by hooking together 198 different amino acids. Because of their structure, using amino acids as their base building block, most amino acid-based hormones are water-soluble. Because of this, they have a hard time getting through the plasma membrane of any cell. That means that the cell that produces these types of hormones usually need to secrete them by the process called exocytosis. Because amino acid-based hormones are water-soluble, they usually dissolve directly into the bloodstream and move relatively easily through the body. When they get to wherever their target organ or target tissue is found, the receptor for this kind of amino acid is found on the plasma membrane of those target cells. This way, the amino acid-based hormone does not have to cross the plasma membrane even of the target cell, because its receptor is found on the outside surface. When that amino acid-based hormone binds to the receptor, it usually initiates something that's called a second messenger system, or it can also be called signal transduction. Here, we can consider the hormone binding to the receptor as the original message. Because this hormone is amino acid-based, it does not travel through the phospholipid bilayer. It binds to an extracellular surface. Once it binds to that receptor, though, it causes a three-dimensional shift in the receptor's shape, which means that on the intracellular side of the plasma membrane, a cascade of different actions follows. The change in the three-dimensional shape of the receptor will normally cause another chemical within the cell to also go through a three-dimensional or conformational change. As that chemical changes, it will activate and it will start to affect other chemicals inside of the cell. Why this is called the second messenger system is that the original message, the hormone, never actually crosses into the cell. Instead, it triggers a series of cascades where one existing protein in the cell activates another. Eventually, this usually activates a kind of protein or a kind of enzyme called a kinase. Kinases add phosphate groups to other things in the cell, or phosphorylize those other things inside of the cell. That addition of a phosphate serves as the signal to turn that existing protein on or off. Because of the way the amino acid-based hormones work using this second messenger or signal transduction system, most amino acid-based hormones activate or deactivate pre-existing proteins that were already available within the target cell. For example, those kinases we mentioned a moment ago add phosphate groups to other molecules. That phosphorylation serves as a trigger to turn on other enzymes that already existed inside of the cell. Because of this, an amino acid-based hormone usually initiates a cascade of events, turning on or turning off thousands of enzymes that are already found inside of the cell.